Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. James Gunn has worked with both Marvel and 600th, and he has more insights into how each of the studios works. He recently disclosed in an interview that DC is way better in doing a film project than Marvel. Apart from Joss Whedon, James Gunn is the only other filmmaker who has made the transition from Marvel to DC. Gunn, on the other hand, is the first Marvel graduate to obtain an explicit directing credit on a big DC production at Warner Bros., as he pointed out in a recent interview with the New York Times. While Gunn enjoys crafting stories in both comic book universes and would never pick one over the other, he does have a soft spot for DC. Mostly because of WB's devotion to director-driven movies that can go odd and aren't overly focused on setting up sequels, spin-offs, and team-ups, as well as some of the publisher's bolder narratives. He said that I do find because of the ability to do different stuff in the DC multiverse, it's fun. They're starting to really resemble their comic books. The Marvel universe has always been a little more cohesive, and DC has always had more great single runs. They had The Dark Knight Returns. They had Watchmen. They had The Killing Joke. They had Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. The fact that they did Joker, which is a totally different type of movie, that to me is cool. I'm very excited about Matt's movie The Batman. They're getting some really good filmmakers involved. They're always going to be hit or miss. I just don't want them to get boring. Compare that to Marvel Studios, where Kevin Feige has far more creative authority over every piece of content he produces, from films to television shows. His capacity to make major modifications or veto ideas for the sake of a unified universe has led to several well-publicized feuds with people like Joss Whedon, Edgar Wright, and Scott Derrickson over the years. He further said that there's no doubt Kevin Feige is way more involved with editing than people are at Warner Bros. He gives more notes. You don't have to take them, and I don't always take them. Gunn was given complete creative control over the Suicide Squad, including the ability to kill off any character he wanted. There were no reshoots required throughout production, which ended in March. In April of this year he tweeted, "The movie is mine from start to finish." It's also the most ambitious project he's ever undertaken, requiring the most practical sets ever built for a Warner Bros. Picture in the studio's history. He also said, "I wanted it to be its own thing completely. When Warner Bros. Said they wanted me to do this, I watched the first movie for the first time, and I called them back and said, what do I have to keep from this movie? And they said, nothing. They said, listen, we would love it if Margot's in the movie, but she doesn't have to be. You could come up with all new characters, or you could keep all the same characters. What are your views about the approach of two studios? Which do you think is better? Let me know in the comments. See you soon."